Greetings, Eric Bakker. Thanks for coming back. Now, here's a very interesting one, an interesting report that I read online. Genes, joules, or gut bugs. Which one is the most to blame when it comes to weight gain? So we're going to call it genes, calories, or gut bugs, because kilojoules or joules really is a caloric sort of a metric caloric measurement, isn't it? So what is making people fat? Is it genetics? Okay, is it the calories that they're eating? Is it the bacteria in their gut? So what's actually making people fat? So if you read the link down below, have a look at it, you'll see that in fact genetics don't really account that much at all for people, putting on weight. About 100 genes so far have been linked with obesity, with people getting bigger out of the many genes that we have. But the interesting thing is less than, I think, 0.3%, or around about, I think 3% it might say on the link, less than 3% of this effect is genetic. So genetics aren't really what's making people bigger, okay? Now if we look at gut bacteria, we look at a composite of 13 studies, you can actually lose a little bit of weight just by taking probiotics alone. You could lose, I think, a couple of pounds a month just by doing this, just by taking probiotics and getting that gut right. But it's a very subtle, slight amount of difference, but not significant. If we look at the kilojoules or the calories, however, it's a totally different ballgame, all right? And what they did, they started to theorize years ago, if we could basically take 10% of calories out of someone's diet, wouldn't they lose 10% of their body weight? And it's exactly what happened, all right? When they had 117 healthy participants and they started to play around with the calories, they found that the body weight reduction was commensurate with the caloric value reduction of the diet, meaning the less calorie the person eats, the smaller they get, okay? So that's basically what it boils down to. So don't blame Donald Trump for getting fat. Don't blame the climate for getting fat. Don't blame McDonald's for getting fat, or your mother-in-law. Don't even blame your next door neighbor or your partner. Blame yourself for putting on weight, okay? It's time to stop pointing a finger at genetics. Genes are making me fat. That's what it is. It's the 514s I'm wearing, the Levi's are making me fat. It's not that. We know that now. Studies have proven that to be crap, okay? It's not the genes. It's not the bugs. It's the gas in my gut. The bugs are making me fat. It's not the bugs in your gut. It's you that are making you fat, okay? It's the calories. So the less calories you consume, the less you bloom, okay? That's another way of putting it. I think you get my point by now. It's got to do with the behaviors associated around eating, who you eat with, how you eat, and what you eat. And remember, stress is a really big factor in this whole equation. I just did a video previously you may want to watch about stress, in fact stress and cravings. And studies have shown that when people are exposed to stress in controlled studies, okay, their cortisol spikes, their stress hormone goes up. Then when they have control days where they're not stressed, they're relaxing, their cortisol doesn't spike. They found the difference between both those days in the caloric consumption was huge. The people who were stressed ate a lot more calories than the people who weren't stressed. Think about all those poor people in offices sitting in there, and some people living some terrible lives where they're pressured. 80% of people hate their job, for example. Hate's a big word to use. So when you're doing something you don't like and you're stressed, it could be part of the weight equation. It's a sad fact, but that's just how it is. So remember, it ain't the genes, it ain't the bugs. It's you, okay? It's the calories that go in here that make all the difference. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to click on the link if you want my free Candida report. Thank you.